Hey, I gotta make a part two. My Screencastify only lets me go 5 minutes. So good for you. I can't rattle on too long. I believe we finished up in part one, intrusive versus extrusive igneous rocks. So understanding the texture of them is very appropriate, whether they're coarse grain or fine grain. You'll hear the word texture and composition a lot. Texture, like we just said, is associated with how big or small your grains are. And then composition is what it's made of. Now, what igneous rocks or scientists focus on with composition of igneous rocks is the amount of silica. So I'm scrolling down to the second part of, or the bottom part of the notes page. Igneous rocks can be sorted based on their silica content. Rocks can be classified as ultra, I say mafic, I've heard mafic, either one is fine. Ultramafic, mafic, felsic, or intermediate, which is somewhere in between. So in the images here, ultramafic is like mega dark, ultra dark. Mafic is just darker colors. Intermediate is when you're starting to get a blend of dark and light, and felsic is light. Now, the darker or more mafic you are, the less silica you have. The more silica, the more likely you are to be a felsic rock. I think of this word, mafic doesn't have an S in it. Felsic does have an S. So does the word silica. So felsic has more silica. Maybe that works for you. I also think of, if you look at the notes, it's written down here for mafic rocks. Those are the ones that are dark in color. And I love Disney Plus, not sure about you. So Maleficent, I think of when I hear the word mafic and it being dark. Maleficent has those like dark outfits and the dark horns, and she just likes everything dark. So mafic makes me think of Maleficent, and that's how I remember it's dark. And again, there's no S, so there's a lower silica content. Intermediate, it's just in the middle. I think that makes more sense when I continue to explain felsic, which is a lighter color. And I think of fair skin or fair makeup. We're entering the fall and the winter where we're not in the sun as much. So many of us are losing pigment and we become more fair or light in color. So that is a fair or felsic. They kind of begin, that alliteration piece may help out. And again, it's higher silica content. I connect the S in felsic with the S in silica, and that triggers memory for me. Granite, pumice, rhyolite, these are all lighter colored rocks. The one exception, here there's always an exception, you know, the nerds have to have one, is obsidian, which is like shiny, glassy, beautiful, black, shiny rock. I love obsidian, can you tell? It's actually felsic. You would think that it would be ultramafic because it's very dark, but it's the one exception. It has 70% silica. So because of that silica content, it's classified as a felsic rock. Then what you're really gonna love, this will help with the lab. If you need to adjust your lab, that's fine. These are the main rocks that you must know. The lab has, I think, 11. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These 8 rocks are really you must know these rocks. And they make it a little easier to figure out. I know in the lab, like diorite could be confused with some other rocks. There's a hint. But knowing granite, rhyolite, obsidian, pumice, basalt, diorite, scoria, and gabbro. Those are going to be the 8 main rocks that I've seen in the past show up with pictures, and you need to identify them. So practice those. And then rather than all of the topics on the lab, just differentiate the 2 pieces we've talked about just now. The texture, is it intrusive, extrusive? And then the composition, is it felsic or mafic? Does it have not much silica, so it's mafic, or lots of silica because it's felsic? Okay? Hope this helps, guys. Happy Friday!